At this point of the year, we're not used to getting league-winning players off the waiver wire. I mean, you're just looking for depth. You're going, well, Mason, I have DeAndre Swift on bye. I have Derrick Henry on bye. I have Devontae Adams. I need someone to play this week. Well, we are going to give you some depth pieces, but surprisingly, even though it's week 6, we have some league-winning running backs to grab off the waiver wire. So super excited about this video. Before we get into it, go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It's my birthday today, so if you're ever going to drop a like on the video, make sure you're liking it for our birthday. Don't you think? I'm taking tonight off the live stream. I will see you in the live stream tonight. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below if you're not able to make it out to the live stream. That's all I got for you outside of. If you want to get me a birthday present, if you want to check out these very cool player props on Underdog Fantasy, if you want to go take the under on Darren Waller at 5 receptions, make sure you go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. You can find the link in the comment section. You can find the link in the description of the video. When you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and use promo code FLOCK, they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar to 100. So go deposit $10, automatically have $20 in your account. And on top of this, you can get in some fantasy football drafts with us during the year on Underdog. Underdog's available in pretty much every single state, not Louisiana, not Washington, Nevada, Hawaii, Michigan, Connecticut, Montana. I think those are the 7. But that should be it. Let's go through. Let's dive into this. First guy, Kenneth Walker. Dear God, I was surprised to see Kenneth Walker only rostered in 44% of leagues. 44% of leagues here. Obviously, the storyline is Rashad Penny going down with the fractured tibia. Now, at the time of this recording, I'm recording this super late on Sunday night. We don't know if Rashad Penny is going to need surgery, but every report saying, you know what? Probably very likely that Rashad Penny needs surgery. So it looks like this is Kenneth Walker's backfield now. I mean, we saw this past week. Kenneth Walker was already ramping up his usage in this offense. We had him on a buy low video earlier this year. And this past week, Kenneth Walker, 30 snaps played. And in those 30 snaps, 8 carries, 88 rushing yards, and the rushing touchdown to go along with it. Now, if we're going to be honest here, there's some very exciting traits with Kenneth Walker's profile. Y'all know I talk Dynasty Fantasy Football. We dive in deep with these rookies all offseason. With Kenneth Walker coming out of Michigan State, phenomenal first and second down running back. I mean, if you're looking at his athletic profile, he's an elite level athlete. He has the size to be a 3-down player. But to be honest with you, he's not a pass catcher. Rashad Penny was not a pass catcher either. I think DJ Dallas is still going to have a role here in Seattle. It's not like Kenneth Walker is going to come out here and turn it into prime Dalvin Cook. That's never going to happen. But Kenneth Walker can be a very effective first and second down RB. If we go over and look at what he did at Michigan, the man's averaging about 140 total yards a week. And I know if you're playing, in a Lincoln Riley offense, if you're playing in a spread offense, hurry-up offense in college, 140 yards a week, maybe not that big of a deal. But in this Michigan State offense, with his 144 total yards a game, he accounted for 33% of this offense. That's not 33% of the passing volume. That's not 33% of the rushing. It's 33% of the entire offensive output for Michigan State. He's a great running back. Get excited. Seattle is much better than I expected them to be coming into this season. I'll flex on everyone here, mainly because we were talking about the extensive injury history with Rashad Penny coming into the year. Kenneth Walker was my second most drafted running back on Underdog. Y'all know we had over 700 drafts, so I'm excited to see what we have with Kenneth Walker the rest of the way. But now going over to our next running back, we have Eno Benjamin. Now with Eno Benjamin, I'm going to need you to monitor what we'll have with James Conner's and Darrell Williams injuries going forward. Now, of course, I'll give you those updates on Tuesday, on Wednesday. So if you don't want to look it up on your own, just come back to the channel. But right now, James Conner going out with the rib injury. Darrell Williams as well going out with a knee injury. So Eno Benjamin, the only guy left over. Eno Benjamin, 37 snaps this past week. Of course, it would have been a lot more if these guys got injured earlier on. In those 37 snaps, 25 routes run. 25 routes run. You know Eno Benjamin's a phenomenal passing down running back. We knew this all the way going back to his time at Arizona State. 3 receptions, 28 receiving yards. With Eno, didn't necessarily think that he could handle all 3 downs, but he may not have an option. he may be playing in an Arizona Cardinals offense that we know they want to push the pace of play. They want to run as many plays per game. He's a capable passing down RB. And on top of it, hell, there's nobody else to go to if we have an extended absence of James Conner and Darrell Williams. Now going over to our next guy, Taysom Hill. No idea how he's only rostered in 29% of leagues. I will say with Taysom Hill, Michael Thomas missed, Jarvis Landry missed, Jameis Winston missed, and Chris Olave had a concussion early on in the game. So I don't expect Taysom Hill to score 4 touchdowns every week. Like, yes, this volume's going to go down. The role's going to shrink overall for Taysom. I mean, Taysom Hill still only ran 3 routes, but honestly, it may not necessarily matter. Obviously, they use him as a gadget player. I mean, I'm going to throw my hands up in the air. I don't know. I have no idea if you're going to be able to start him. He is someone that should be on your roster, though, knowing that he does have tight end eligibility. Now, going over to our next player, we are going to go right back to Arizona with Rondale Moore here. Obviously, Rondale Moore, great prospect coming out of Purdue. I mean, his 18-year-old season at Purdue was one of the best collegiate 18-year-old seasons of all time. On top of this, an elite level athlete. On top of this, playing in an offense that's going to push the pace of play, going to try to run as many plays per game overall. We've seen that year after year with Cliff Kingsbury here. And he was great in a bad matchup, even with A.J. Green playing, like Greg Dortch, obviously, nowhere close. But anyway, Rondale Moore came out. Rondale Moore had 7 receptions, 68 receiving yards, the clear number 2 in this offense behind Hollywood Brown. And I know we just got done talking about Eno Benjamin as the only guy in this backfield. I would not be that surprised. I would not be that surprised looking at the overall profile that you have from Rondale Moore, looking at how he was used early on at Purdue. If all of a sudden you have Rondale Moore with some additional gadget type touches, maybe he's used as a Devin Duvernay this past week, or maybe a poor man's version of Deebo Samuel last season. Now going over to a Thursday night player, let's look at Alec Pierce. I mean, just looking at rookie after rookie in this video. Now with Alec Pierce, I did not like him coming out of Cincinnati. I was looking at a wide receiver that was probably just going to be a field stretching option in a poor offense where Michael Pittman would be the wide receiver. I still think a lot of those things are true. I still think that he is not the number 1 and he is still playing in a very bad offense. Those are 2 things that I want to be worried about. But here with Alec Pierce, I mean, hell, in a game where you only had 251 passing yards for Matt Ryan, 81 of those go over to Alec Pierce, the rookie. He leads the team in targets. He has 8 receptions, back-to-back impressive weeks with Alec Pierce. I don't know if we can start him anytime soon, but I definitely want to make sure that he is on our roster, knowing that he could continue to get better. Maybe this offense does take a step forward in the second half of the season. Only rostered in 8% of leagues right now. Now going over to someone that was on our waiver wire video last week, another rookie. We'll keep it very brief. Rashad White, I mean, we talked about him last week, so we'll just give you an update. Elite passing down running back, at least he was as a prospect. And looking at the usage in this backfield. Of course, Leonard Fournette, 10 receptions, 83 receiving yards, the receiving touchdown. Fournette drops over 30 points in a PPR format this past week. But if we look at the underlying snaps, you had 49 snaps for Leonard Fournette, 31 for Rashad White. Hell, you had 28 routes run for Leonard Fournette. You had 22 for Rashad White. So White is expanding his role every single week here in Tampa. I don't think you're ever going to be able to start him unless you do have an injury to Leonard Fournette. But if Fournette were to go down, knowing how excited this coaching staff clearly is already about Rashad White, I think in a full PPR format, he could be a low-end running back 1, high-end running back 2, just based off the overall target volume he could see. Now going over to another rookie. This is literally an all-rookie video. An all-rookie video here, we have James Cook. With James Cook, very similar to someone like Alec Pierce, maybe someone like Rashad White. You're not picking him up to start this week. If we're looking at the long-term upside here with James Cook, I didn't like him coming out of Georgia, but you cannot deny the situation that he's in Buffalo. We have seen before that the Buffalo Bills, at any point, may look at that veteran running back in Zach Moss. Go, hey man, your services are no longer required. We are going to have you as a healthy scratch. We are going to expand the role of the younger rookie here. And with James Cook, it was a blowout game. I don't want to be taking too much away from this. He did have 4 carries. He did have 31 rushing yards and the rush touchdown to go along with. Like I said, It was a blowout. I don't want to be focusing in too much on the usage. As it stands today, you still have James Cook and a 3-man running back by committee in Buffalo. But if the Buffalo coaching staff would naturally just continue to give more and more responsibilities to the rookie, if you had an injury to Devin Singletary, if this coaching staff decided they were no longer interested in Zach Moss, at that point in a full PPR format, James Cook is very exciting. And now let's go over to someone else in this offense. He should be way higher in this list. We're not going in order. We're just kind of going around random here. But Isaiah McKenzie, rostered in 48% of leagues. When you have Jamison Crowder on the IR, Isaiah McKenzie is someone that needs to be rostered in every single league. I know it's boring to talk about him because, hell, he didn't play this week. But if we were looking at this, 432 passing yards for Josh Allen. 432 passing yards for Josh Allen. 4 passing touchdowns. Clearly the best passing offense in the NFL. Gabriel Davis, a phenomenal week this past week. 171 receiving yards, multiple receiving touchdowns off of only 6 targets. Khalil Shakir actually looked good as well. I know a lot of people are going to run to Shakir and say, oh, this is the waiver wire running back that we want. Nope. When you get Isaiah McKenzie back next week from the concussion, Isaiah McKenzie is going to be the starting slot wide receiver here. You have less target competition with Jamison Crowder on the IR. So while everybody runs to get Shakir, somehow Isaiah McKenzie is on your waiver wire. We're going to go grab him. Another veteran wide receiver, very boring option, Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers, I mean, it was a great matchup going up against the Detroit Lions. I told everybody to bench him, though. I was looking at it going, okay, well, we have the third-string quarterback playing for the New England Patriots here against a defense that can't stop the run. I'd imagine they just run the ball over and over and over. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a third-string quarterback. Jakobi Meyers is going to command those targets. Jakobi Meyers is going to be an effective player in fantasy. Now, with Jakobi Meyers, I understand a lot of people are going to be looking at Tyquan Thornton coming back to New England. Hell, he played his first week this week. And with Tyquan Thornton, I think that he could very easily be an effective NFL wide receiver. I think that he could be a good NFL wide receiver for the New England Patriots while still being a bad wide receiver for your fantasy team. Very similar to what we talked about with Henry Ruggs back in the day, John Ross super long ago. These field-stretching wide receivers that are going to be able to draw defensive attention, specifically with their safeties, make defenses keep 2 safeties back. They are going to be beneficial to everybody in this offense. With those wide receivers in fantasy, they're kind of whatever because they're not going to draw a lot of targets. Those options underneath, those options like a Jakobi Meyers, they are going to benefit from the space created overall. We need some speed added in to the slowest offense in the NFL in New England here. I think that Tyquan Thornton's going to be able to do that. I think Jakobi Meyers is going to be able to benefit. Now, going over to our last guy, of course, you know we have to talk about Jalen Warren here. Jalen Warren, I mean, only rostered in 8% of leagues. I'm not going to lie. If you would have asked me about 2 weeks ago if you should have rostered Jalen Warren, I'd be like, no. I bet we can find a better handcuff running back. But looks like he may not just be a handcuff running back at this point. Now, of course, the game was a blowout. Super hard to take too much away from it. But Jalen Warren played more snaps than Najee Harris. Najee Harris has been straight up garbage. Whether or not you want to blame it on Harris, the offensive line, the coaching staff, the quarterback play, I don't care what you blame it on. The end result is the end result. Najee Harris has been very ineffective. Jalen Warren has been a more efficient running back. You can make the argument that Najee Harris is still definitely better. I would say Najee Harris is the better running back, but that's not stopping the fact that Jalen Warren is expanding his role in this offense. He's a capable passing down running back. And if something were to occur to Najee Harris, or if Najee Harris were to go down, then all of a sudden maybe Jalen Warren is someone that we're going through and starting every week. So I'm not telling you to pick up Jalen Warren that he's the starting running back in Pittsburgh. Just looking at the trends here, saying at the worst case scenario, he is a handcuff running back that could probably be rostered knowing his effectiveness as a pass catcher. But that's all I got for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it's my birthday today, so please make sure you go down there, drop in a like in the stream. If you want to go check out any of these player props, maybe go look at that Darren Waller under 5 receptions. Go to the link in the live chat. Go to the link in the comment section, link in the description. Go sign up for Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So deposit $10. You automatically have $20 in your account. Not available in Louisiana, Nevada, Montana, Washington, Hawaii, and we're probably missing Connecticut and maybe one more. But thank you again. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day and hope I get to see you in the live stream tonight.